Amy Thurman back again with 100 Days, 100 Emotions. Remember, we're doing 100 days of these. We are on day 21 today, and we're going to be talking about connectedness. If you are just brand new catching this for the first time, feel free to look up our others. Use the hashtag 100 Days, 100 Emotions using the numbers 100 or at Polish the Mirror on YouTube. And we have a whole series of these of different interviews with different people sharing stories. So it's really, really, really good and informative. I have gotten some really good feedback about it. And so I'm so thankful you all are finding it helpful. Remember, too, that I do have openings still available for emotions if you would like to be a special guest. I would love to plug you in. You don't have to be like me, you don't have to look like me or sound like me. I want to hear your side and your story, and I would love for you to be a part of our series. So today, my special guest is Dee Taylor, and I'll bring her up here. Hi, Dee. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Amy. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, Dee, you're coming to us from South Africa. Is that right?
That's right, Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah, it blows my mind. Just, the web is like it is, that I can sit here and chat with you in South Africa. It's summer,
Yes.
it's hot over here, and it's cold there. Is that right?
Yes, we've just sort of moving into spring now. So as you're heading your autumn, we're going into spring so that we can enjoy our summertime over
Right.
Christmas.
Right, right. It's mind blowing to me, but it's so cool. I have loved connecting with you and chatting with you. Oh my goodness, Dee has been such a motivator for me, an inspiration for me, and just little nuggets, golden nuggets of things that Dee, you probably don't realize have had the impact on me that they have. But oh, you're just such an inspiration to me, and I'm so glad that you're joining me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited and nervous to be here because, as you know, I like to be behind the scenes. But I've come to realize that I need to step out. And so that's why I'm here today.
Yes, you do. You have so much to share, like so much knowledge and wisdom and just inspiration to share with people. That was one of the reasons I wanted to get you on here because I want people to see that and to get to know you. Oh, so good. Okay, so we're talking about connectedness today. Let me pop up our text here about connectedness. It says that connectedness fosters a sense of belonging and support, reducing feelings of isolation and loneliness, and it adds a feeling of being in sync with others or the world around you. And so it's pulling us, being connected to people or things or ideas. It's not necessarily just people, helps pull us out of that isolation and loneliness and brings us into a feeling of support of other people, things that we have in common with other people or with other things or with other ideas. And it can be life changing. Like the feeling of connectedness, I'm telling you, it's all around us. I really, really hope that you have felt this emotion before, that you have felt connected to people, ideas, or something, some movement, to bring you this feeling of connectedness. Because, like I said, it can be life changing. Dee, would you like to go ahead and share with us what you have to share about your feeling of connectedness today?
Sure, definitely. My feeling of connectedness really, it was about connecting with myself. And when I say that, it's
Oh,
about connecting with the part of me that I was not connected to. When I remember I was, these days people will say you're in your masculine or feminine and you'd flow of things and all of those types of things. But I remember that when I was little, when I was young, I always wanted to work in service of others. So it was either in being a nurse, being a remedial school teacher, whatever that was, it was going to be in service. And as life took me on a journey, I sort of veered completely away from that. And then in 2009, and in literally on the 30th of April 2009, I had what is called a life changing experience. It literally rocked my world. But with that came this need to, pull myself toward myself. And I didn't understand it at the time. I think it was almost 2 years later that I realized what had happened. Um, I always seeked validation and things outside of myself, and it didn't really look at myself. And the more I started looking and feeling within myself and looking to myself for answers and looking to myself for, and when I say self, it's probably that spirit part of who I am. So I call that person God. And so I really reached a point of feeling connected with God in a way that I'd never experienced before. Um, and so that sort of became my driving force. And every day when I wake up, I intend that that's what I want for every day. I want to stay connected. No matter what I do, my prayer for my day is, please speak through me for the benefit of others. And so often I'll find when I speak to people, and that I think that's why I don't understand the impact that you were talking about earlier, because I intend to be a clear filter so that whatever you need, you get from me. And I don't want to remember any of that, because I don't want to become this person who feels and thinks that it's about me and it's what I did. It's just not, it doesn't feel and resonate with me. And so through my connection, my life-changing experience, and that deeper connection, deeper sense of connection with myself internally, um, came from that an expression of of creating a sense of belonging for a community of people. And so in terms of everything that I do today is about bringing people together, helping people feel like they belong, and making sure that they don't feel that they have to do this alone. um, and I can only attribute that to the worst experience of my life to date. But it has been the most, it's given me the greatest opportunity for personal growth and development. And so at the time, I wouldn't have wanted to have heard you say to me, Amy, that there's a reason for this and there's a season and there's a whatever. I wouldn't have wanted to know that. Um, but today, I'm happy to embrace that, because I've walked that journey and I understand what that feels like. And so I try to now create that for others like me, because I feel as though it's my experience that will help others through whatever it is that they experience. And that is at the core of everything and everything that I do and everything that I say. And so that is basically my experience with connect with the word connectedness, and really feeling into the word. And that's why when you put the word on the screen, I was like, I've never looked at the meaning of the word connectedness.
Yeah.
But often I say to people that I want to bring, I want to create a community of togetherness where people belong and feel supported. And they don't have to do this alone. And there it is in the definition of the word. And so it was almost surreal seeing it like that, because I think when you approached me, I, this was the second lot of words, and I just chose that one. It immediately spoke to me. It jumped out at me. And so I guess we all have our words. Those of us, those that are still coming, their words will still jump out at them. So I would like to use this opportunity to tell people that if they've been watching this series, to just to DM you and ask you what words are there, and just
Mhm.
look at what pops out at you, because 10 to 1, that's the word that you're connected with. Essentially, that's your word. And so you have something to share through that word. We've all signed up. If we're somehow connected to Amy, we've all signed up for this part of her journey. If you're following her, if you're interacting with her, there's a reason. I'm using that phrase. There's a reason for that. You need to step up and connect with your word, because you have a message to share with the world through what Amy is doing with us here today.
Oh my goodness, Dee, that is so good. Like there's so much there I want to unpack. Oh, this is why we connect, you and I. This is why, because it's like our hearts are in the same line, in the
Mm,
same vein that, that's
yeah.
why my business is called Polish the Mirror, because it's all about looking inside, finding the answers that you seek, because your soul knows the way. God, or whatever you want to refer it to it, knows the way. It's there. We just have to be willing to look inside and
And,
helping people. Go ahead.
and the problem is that we're so afraid to look because we're so afraid of what we'll see.
Exactly.
And I can tell you that when I started looking in the mirror, yes, there were parts that I was like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to know that about myself. I didn't want to face that. Yes, I may have been I was manipulative, for example. Maybe that's what I saw in the reflection of those around me. And maybe I didn't want to look at that. But if you're willing to face it, if you're willing to face the shadow side of who you are through the mirror, that what gets reflected back to you, I can only say, and I'm sure you too, Amy, that I am a work in progress product of where you look at that personal growth and development because you've looked in the mirror. You don't want to stay on the sidewalk while we're all walking ahead in the marathon. Get onto the road, walk the path, even if you take one step at a time. It doesn't have to be big steps, it can be tiny steps, but don't sit on the sidewalk, because that's watching life go by, and that's not what we signed up to do here. That's definitely not what we did not sign up to be. What are you, spectators? We all have a role to play, and there's some of us are waiting for you to step up and walk the road with us.
Oh, I'm getting emotional. Dee. This is what I'm talking about. Like it just flows through you. It just radiates from you. Oh, and you mentioned, I love how you put this. Like when you look in the mirror, we see the things that are ugly that we have pushed down and tried to hide because we don't want them to surface. And they are like shadows. I love that term. I never thought about that, but
Mm,
it's true. There is like a shadow of us in there that's trying to hide, that we're trying to push down. But it's by allowing those things to surface and to face them and
mm.
realize that's what's happened, that we're able to heal and move past them.
Yeah, and I think it's not, for me. It's not so much. It's more of the what we're not conscious of that we do. So I mean
Mm,
that was what I experienced, and I mean I worked with someone to learn all of what I do in terms of what was happening in my life and all of those things at the time, and it really wasn't something that I even realized, things that I realized I was doing. And so it's about bringing that which is there into the light, as people say. It's about bringing
mhm,
your awareness to it, because once you're aware of what you're doing, you will either choose to continue the behavior or you'll choose to do differently. But how
mhm.
can you don't have a choice if you're not aware of it.
Right.
I often say it's like, it reminds me of the Matrix. You can either take the, I don't know what pill, blue, red, whatever it was, blue, green,
Yeah.
but you can choose to continue living in the Matrix in terms of that, where you blind, you turn a blind eye to what you what who you are. All facets, all everything that makes you who you are is the conscious and the unconscious, and so um, it's worth it.
Oh yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It reminds me of the lyrics of the song, maybe Into the Light. I don't know, but it says the greatest risk you'll ever take is allowing yourself to be seen as you are in the light.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's so true. Like it's a risk. It's a risk that we're taking. But like you said, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to step out of our comfort zone. Dee, you're out of your comfort zone right now and you're touching people's lives. I can guarantee you that you are touching
Mm.
people's lives. We make a difference when we step out of our comfort zone and step into the things that we're supposed to be involved in, but that we're afraid to do. And so,
Yeah.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
so much
I mean,
good.
how many of us are there? We have this dream. Um, was it Luther Vandross that said, to dream the impossible dream? I mean, why must it be impossible for us, essentially? Why must it be impossible for us if we are just willing to take it on? I mean, he says, this is my quest to follow that star. I mean, that is like, that's gold. I mean, I can't, I'm just like, I just want to like, I want to do like a super girl or something. And just,
You
I
pose.
feel I feel like I want to just go for that star, you know? Um,
Yes.
no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, but we have to fight for that right. I mean, we need to take the steps. Um, we really need to take the steps to get there. And when we reconnect with our dreams, often that's what motivates us into taking the action until we get stuck again. And
Right.
then we have to dream again. And then we've got to
Right.
reconnect with that dream. I mean, that's what's happened with me often. I literally had a dream in 2010. I had a dream. And the dream, when I flowed with that dream, everything worked out perfectly. And then I become in my head about it, and I get stuck, and then something happens, and there comes something that says to me, come on, yeah, I'm still here, let's do this. And then I find the
Yes.
courage again, and that's okay,
Yeah.
we need to give ourselves grace, because we are so quick to just give it up, because no, I can't do it perfectly. But we need to give ourselves some grace, and say, I'm doing the best with what I have right now, but I'm doing something. I'm connecting with this, and this is how it feels. And so I'm going to take one or two steps. And then next, something needs to happen, and I'll take another couple of steps. But as long as you're building that dream, because we all have that spark of inspiration, or as my friend always says, in spirit action,
Yes.
inspiration.
Yes.
Um, and we all have that we all have that one thing. So if you've been putting it to the side, what is one thing? Connect with that dream today. What's the one thing you can do today to move that little dream a little bit further ahead in the marathon of life?
Ooh, that's so, so good. And it's like, excuse me, it's a journey. Like it's not, I I'm go from here to exactly where I'm going to be in the end. It's a
Mm.
journey. And when we think about a path, it's no roads are flat and straight. Well, unless you're in
Mm.
Kansas, maybe. But
Is
they're
it?
it's very flat there. But
Oh.
there are hills. That was just a joke for my Kansas friends. They'll get it. There are hills and valleys on every road, every path you take. And so,
Mm.
exactly what you said, there will be highs and lows. You just have to keep going until you get to that next high, and then be able to weather the low till you get to the next high. And it's a series of those that you just ride
Yeah.
along. And so, so
Yeah.
good. So good.
There was a song in the movie The Sound of Music that Julie Andrews sang, and it said something about climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. And the words, the lyrics in that song. I mean, another song. There's so much in the music,
Oh my
and
gosh,
you know,
yes.
my kids today, when I speak to them about some of the music they listen to, I say, "There's nothing to your lyrics." Because I think I'm a little old school, but the lyrics need to mean something. For me, the lyrics mean something, and
Yes.
it's come from someone. It's something that's come from someone with the message. There's a message attached to those lyrics, and so yeah, that's That's all I want to say about this song at this point. Or my kids will.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny. It's
Mm.
funny you mentioned that, just side note, because of my brain injury,
Yeah.
I can't sing. Like the
Oh.
vibration in my head, I'm finally able to talk, but singing, it causes extra vibration and it makes my head hurt. And I love
Oh.
to sing, but because I
Mm.
can't, I'm really forced to listen to the lyrics. And
Mm.
lyrics make so much more sense to me. Like I really, really connect, talk about connection,
Yeah.
connect with the lyrics now instead of the song, because I'm forced to not sing it,
Mm.
but listen to the words. And so I want to ask this question. If you're watching live or on the replay, Dee mentioned this, and I think it's so perfect. How are you stepping into your dream? Like, are you connecting with yourself in a way that's helping you step into the life of your dreams, which can be possible? And like we said, it's not flat, it's not easy. Dee and I both have been through life altering events that have ended up taking us where we want to be. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you have to go through it. You don't say, I'm so sorry you're going around it. I'm so sorry you're going over it or under it. You say, I'm so sorry you're going through that, because it's hard in the moment. But once you
Mm.
get through it, it can lead you to places that you never, ever even dreamed about going.
Exactly. I mean, for me, I worked in a corporate company. I worked many years in a multinational company. I loved my job. I loved what I did, but the dream, the calling was so much, it was so much stronger. And there
Mm.
are ways and means that we can do that. It doesn't mean you must now go drop everything and go and do it. I waited 4 years, 5 years, to be able to eventually go and live the dream. And the dream, the physical dream that I had, I mean, in the core theme of the dream was that go and do it, it will be okay. I don't know if you've watched the Kevin Costner movie Field of Dreams,
Oh, yes.
and that you he just had to build it, and they came,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the feeling that came with that dream. And when I was brave enough to step into that, I can say to you today, I stand or sit here before you today. I left my corporate position in 2014. It's now 2023. I have been okay since then. I have been okay. Yes, along the way, I disconnected from certain things, and I felt fear and all of those types of things. But all I needed to do was just reconnect, watch the signs, watch, have a look at the abundance that comes in the various forms in order to move through forward with that. Because often we just look at the obstacles that come our way, and we miss the pearls that we need to pick up along the way because we're so focused on them. Again, we can only speak because we've been there.
Right.
And, and,
Right.
and why must it first hit us right in the face? Why must it take a life altering event to bring us where we are? I often look back, and I mean, I don't ask why in an ugly manner. I look back at it and I ask, now, why did I miss it? And the reason I ask the why is because I want to help others figure that out. I want to understand why didn't I look at that? Why didn't I notice that? So how can I change that for others that want to, without them having to face it in, oh, there's the crash, or the earthquake hit your life or whatever. But maybe it's just who we as humans are, because we're so outwardly focused. And that if we really do reconnect more and more with ourselves, and look for the answers within our own space rather than externally looking for the answers outside, maybe then it would be a little different for us.
Yeah, I know Dr. Wayne Dyer always said, "Don't
Oh,
die with your music still in you."
oh, I
And
love that.
I do too. And that means to me that don't follow someone else's dream for you.
Mm,
Don't follow what someone else expects you to do or wants you to do. It's inside you. You got to follow the
Wow.
dream that's inside you along the path that you're supposed to take, not the path someone else wants you to take. And what I found, what Dee has found, is once we do that, things just work out. Things have a way of taking care of themselves when we
Mm,
start to take those steps along our dream path. And it just starts happening. And so we want
yeah.
to encourage you today to take a step along the path of your dream, what you have inside of you. Don't die with that music still in you. Allow it to play. Find the path that's going to cause you to allow that music to play while you're still here. And so I would love for you to share in the comments with us, what step are you going to take? What are you going to do to find your dream, to follow your dream? And we would love to continue that conversation with you. Um,
Yeah.
I want to, we need to start wrapping up. But before I do, if you have watched these before, you know that I use an AI image generator to create an image that represents the feeling or the emotion of the day. So today is connectedness. And so this is what the AI generator came up with. These are always so interesting to me. Let me full screen this so we can see it a little better. But
Oh,
talking about connectedness, I know, isn't that wild?
wow.
All of the things, I mean, look how they're connected.
But
It's
look how fluid they are too. I mean, it's all fluid. It's nothing is sort of wow.
yeah, yeah, it's all flowing. It's all like connected, but like it's working off of each other, like it's building off of each other,
Yeah.
working together. The sun is the focal point in the top middle there,
Mm,
helping everything, connect and grow. It almost looks like the veins are like growing because of the sun's light. It's almost like that
yeah.
sun is us, our souls, or whatever you want to call that source,
Mm.
and that everything else is feeding off of that, and it's flowing to that or flowing from that. Um,
Mm. It's so interesting that there's a whole path associated, and I'm thinking of the analogy I used earlier on, where I said that we're all running this marathon at our own pace, and that we should be involved, and everyone's involved. I mean, everything is like at different stages, at different places. We're all there. It just works together in perfect synchronicity.
yes, yes. Oh, so good. Like I said, those always baffle me, how an AI generator comes up with things like that.
Wow.
It's so, so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Dee, this has been so wonderful. I knew it would be. That's just who you are and how you are. So I'm so, so thankful that you chose to spend this time with us today. I would love for you to tell them a little bit about what you do, your business, and how they can get in touch with you if they would like to work with you.
Oh, thank you, Amy.
Yes.
I'm still I actually work as an executive virtual assistant, but I'm in transition to becoming an online business manager. I'm an intuitive and tech savvy, and one of my strengths, one of the things that I really that's almost natural to me, is that I'm an ideas person. So, what I'd like to say to anyone who watches this video, you're welcome to send me a message on LinkedIn, or you can book a chat with me. It's in the top of my profile, to connect with me and book a virtual chat with me. If you're looking to start walking on that dream, you can reach out to me and book a chat with me, and I'll help you figure that one out, because that's where it's just something I've learned about myself. That's where I shine, is in the ideas and the fact, and I think it's because in terms of my human design, I amplify people's ideas. So you don't even realize that you've got something, but through what you're telling me and all of that, it's so easy for me to actually pick them, pull them out, and actually to play that back to you and actually give you some ideas of how you can do that. So yeah, my LinkedIn profile is where I'm at, with a book a call with Dee, on my LinkedIn profile.
Awesome. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, please just reach out to me or leave a comment and I will connect you with Dee. I will make sure the two of you get connected so that you can book a call with her and have a chat. So
Thank you.
thank you again, Dee, for being here. It has been such a pleasure. Always a pleasure chatting with you. If you're watching live or on the replay and feel like this has been helpful for you or that it will be helpful for other people, please share it. We would love to reach as many people as possible with this message that emotions are natural and feeling them can benefit our lives. If we will stop pushing them down and allow ourselves to feel them, we can actually benefit from that. And that's the whole purpose of this, is helping us realize that they're natural and they're healthy. So thank you again for watching. I will be back tomorrow with day 22 of 100 Days, 100 Emotions. And until then, bye.
Thank you. Bye.